Okay, well, let's let Sean have his share before I ask any follow-up.
I'll be quick, Bart. So I think mine is an add-on to what Sarah just said. So I think when she was speaking, I was like, awesome. I think when I first started teaching, our puppets were literally a part of our like language and literacy space. And that's how it was introduced and taught to me, that you use puppets to elevate language and literacy. And that's still true. And then as I grew in the work in the last 28 years, and specifically when I became an early childhood mental health consultant and realized that puppets were an excellent medium for emotional distancing around all types of issues, kind of like what Sarah just described in great detail with that wonderful story. So like across the continuum, realizing the power of puppets and the necessity of puppets. For me, when I think of like puppets and play, specifically risky play, and I think in this country, in the United States, where I am, we tend to see risk and hazard the same way. I've come to understand risk in terms of play as a developmental necessity. In the story that Sarah just shared to me, I was hearing those children knew we have something that's inside of us, and the puppets allowed them to have some emotional distancing from how difficult that could be. This is mommy we're watching who's going through this, but for us to work through it, the puppet becomes that medium to add that barrier so that we can work through it to get to the other side. And that riskiness, we sometimes say, oh, we don't want children to engage in that because we're fearful of it and we see it the way we see a hazard. I kind of situate a hazard or things that adults should prevent children from experiencing, where risk is a developmental necessity. We should want them to engage in it, specifically through play. So I think puppets for me has come the full continuum, if you will, simultaneously with play and developing, I think, my understanding of play, and not just building out and with this confidence, but building competence. Because I think so often we see it as confidence building and we miss how children are developing multiple competencies when they're engaged in play or when they're engaged in something like the power of a puppet and what a puppet can provide, either an adult using it or children using them in their daily lives. So, yeah.
I love that distinction between a risk and a hazard and risky play, Sean. Thank you for that.